Kicking off the third installment of the Twins Daily Minnesota Twins prospects ahead of the 2026 season, we will look at prospects 6 through 10. We previously ranked prospects 16 through 20 and then 11 through 15. So who's going to fall in the 6 to 10 range? Let us know what you think in the comments. As we enter the top 10, know that if you want a deeper dive on each of these players, there are individual articles for players 1 through 10 on twinsdaily.com. And kicking off with number 10, 20-year-old Charlee Soto, a right-handed pitcher who is drafted as a prep arm out of Florida in the 2023 draft. Obviously, he is a very young prospect and he has faced some injuries in his minor league career, although he is still considered one of the highest upside arms in the Twins organization. Most notably, he has a fastball that is already hitting the upper 90s, and he features a splinker, a split finger, and a sinker combined that has really fooled hitters across minor league baseball. Similar to a couple pitchers in the 11 through 20 portion of the rankings, anytime you are a guy who has a high velo fastball mixed with good vertical and horizontal movement secondary offerings, you have the versatility of trying to rely on that to become a mid to upper rotation type of arm, or you can always fall back as an elite reliever, high leverage reliever, and that is the path for Charlee Soto right now. Again, very young prospect, only 20 years old. Definitely needs to develop a bit better command, needs to show that he can stay healthy, but he will be continued to be built as a starter, and again with a fallback option being a high leverage arm out of the bullpen. Coming in at number 9, the Twins' first-round pick in 2025 out of Wake Forest, shortstop Marek Houston, who is 22 years old. Now, our very own Adam Friedman did a deep dive on twinsdaily.com on Houston, so make sure you check that out for a bit more information. But this could be the shortstop that the Twins have been looking for decades, really. Now, Houston is a glove-first shortstop, one that could literally be in the Gold Glove conversation with a decent bat. He's a contact-over-power guy, and that's probably going to be the deciding factor between him being like an everyday all-star caliber shortstop versus an everyday just kind of mediocre shortstop, is whether he can produce a bit more power than what is projected right now. As Adam Friedman points out, because of his glove, if he can just bat like 250 with 8 to 10 home runs, throw in a dozen stolen bases, that's all it's going to take for him to just be a regular everyday shortstop at the big league level, because he's consistently going to be in that Gold Glove conversation. Coming in at number 8, 23-year-old left-handed pitcher Kendry Rojas. And if you're looking for a little bit of a deeper dive, make sure you check out Cody Schoenman's article on the number 8 prospect for the Minnesota Twins. Now, you might recognize his name for 2 reasons. He's already been making some waves here in 2026 in spring training. Now, he is not going to make the club on opening day, that is for certain. But if he continues what he's shown so far, it's not out of the realm of possibilities to think that maybe we see him debut towards the end of 2026. Otherwise, he might realistically compete for a role in 2027. Otherwise, you might recognize the name as one of the guys we got back from the Toronto Blue Jays in the Louis Varland trade, along with catcher Edro Tahit. This is another guy with maybe not an elite ceiling, but a decent ceiling and a very safe floor. He's kind of the prototype for the Minnesota Twins, at least for this pitching development staff, which is a pitcher who maybe doesn't throw hard. He sits in the mid-90s, but he has elite extension. And when that comes into play, your mid-90s fastball can play up a little bit. Joe Ryan is another example of that. But he also has great secondaries with a sharp slider and really good command for the strike zone, which is really good to see at such a young age. Again, his upside isn't massive, so really we're looking at like a mid-rotation starter here, but a very safe one with that fastball and with the plus secondary offerings. We might see him in 2026. Otherwise, I think more realistically, we probably see him sometime in 2027. All kind of depends on how the 2026 season unfolds for the 23-year-old. Coming in at number 7, 21-year-old outfielder Gabriel Gonzalez, and he was one of the 2 guys that we got in return for Jorge Polanco from the Seattle Mariners way back in 2021. He's another name that has consistently been on prospect lists in that time. If you're looking for a deeper dive on Gonzalez, make sure you check out Sam Calder's article, who covered the Twins' number 7 prospect. Now, Gonzalez is coming off a very successful 2025 season. He started the year in high A, made it up to double A, then got promoted to triple A all in 1 year. Now, his bat is his calling card. He's a very aggressive hitter at the plate, which on one hand comes with good exit velocities, barrel, power, all of those things. But on the other hand, comes with decent swing and miss. And that is the case for Gonzalez. That is ultimately going to be the biggest factor in whether he can be a major league hitter or is he more of a 4A hitter. He is just another one of many corner outfield types that have big question marks defensively. And so again, it's all going to come down to his bat and whether he can balance out that aggressive approach with a little bit more contact. And wrapping up this portion of the rankings, coming in at number 6, 20-year-old left-handed pitcher Dasan Hill. If you're looking for a deeper dive, make sure you check out Corey Moen's article on the number 6 Twins prospect. Now, Baseball America is very big on Hill, saying that he has the upside to become an ace-level type of starter at the big league level. But it's going to take time. Again, he's young. He's 6'4", and they would call him lanky. And so typically what that means is you struggle with command and control, which is something that Hill does need to work on. Now, he originally was sitting mid to upper-ish 90s with his fastball, and recent reports suggest that he has actually started to hit triple digits, which would be a huge development for that upside potential. He's advanced for his age when it comes to his secondary offerings. He has a high spin slider that he can control pretty well, and he has good feel for his changeup, although that is still developing, and that will become a very important pitch, especially if he's going to be flirting with triple digits on a regular basis. Being able to really command and manage a changeup to throw hitters off a little bit is going to be important for his development and may ultimately be the key, along with throwing strikes, to becoming an ace for the Minnesota Twins down the road. And that wraps up this portion of the prospects. Again, coming in at number 10, we had Charlee Soto. At number 9, we had Marek Houston. Number 8, we had Kendry Rojas. Number 7, Gabriel Gonzalez. And coming in at number 6, just falling outside of the top 5, we had Dasan Hill. Who was underranked? Who was overranked? Let us know in the comments and make sure you're visiting twinsdaily.com for more.